conferences and events. Title. I can't stand anymore going to conference and events, and I feel overwhelmed by the desire to jump out of my seat. I feel constrained by them talking and me being here, by the separation of them apparently having been assigned the role of the experts, the knowers of knowledge, and us receiving here feels like very much TV. Is there a way you feel that, since we're talking in 2.0 about bottom-up collaboration, sharing, challenging, questioning, is there going to be some osmosis? What do you see in the future of conferences?
Well, I mean, I guess that's something I've been dealing with for, I don't know, years, the same kind of a feeling. I don't know how to put it. On the one hand, it seems, for me at least, it's kind of like we're past that now, right? I mean, that view that you're the expert and I have to listen at your feet. I mean, if there's anything that I've at least gained sort of out of the internet as a whole, it's that model isn't valid all the time. I shouldn't say, I mean, there's times where it is. I enjoy sometimes listening to, personally, a good lecture. I'm not sure what your experience is like, but if I have the opportunity to listen to someone who's thought long about a subject and understands it critically well, I like listening to a part of a lecture. But after that, I'm not satisfied just listening, right? I can listen to a lecture for, I don't know, 45 minutes or an hour. Then I want to ask questions. I want to give my opinion. I want to ask the opinions of people sitting beside me. So I think that's where I find my frustration, is that conferences, there's a great statement I often quote by Roy P., and he says that, certain events or certain tools, I guess, are carriers of previous patterns of reasoning, which means we build into our system our viewpoints at one time, and even when the society around us sort of changes, we keep those viewpoints and we use them to build new systems. So let's say you look back in 1900s where you would have the expert, the Einstein, coming in and he'd talk to you about physics and stuff like that. That model was built into classrooms, and even before 1900, I mean, that was the creation of the universities. The lecture hall in certain cases already did that. So we've just kept that, and now that we have these wonderful participatory tools available, we've still kept that mindset. So we've kept that way of thinking, and we still use it in our current conferences. We've run through University of Manitoba, we've run several, I think, very successful online conferences, and we've had up to 700-800, as high as 2,500 people involved in these events. And people who, at the end, when we've sort of sent out a few letters or a survey and said, what do you think? People have said this is the best conference I've ever attended. And I think one of the reasons is that they're able to ask questions, they're able to contextualize it, they can personalize it to their own experience. So if I'm asking what's the future of conferences, like you're saying, I'd have to say, we'll still keep some of the human contact. I mean, meeting you here in Rome, the sights, the sounds, the smells, the food, there's no way an online conference is going to duplicate that, right? But there's a way to augment it. And the very fact that I was able to connect with you here was exclusively driven to the fact that we met each other in virtual spaces. So I think there's going to be a merging of both physical and online. So you'll be at a conference and it'll be, let's say you walk in and your social network that you have, it should be able to connect you to people who are similar interests. So if they know that you're into, emerging technology, you're into pedagogy, it should be able to suggest recommendations of people that you should meet at the event. That's a very low-level functionality. Any good social networking service does that already, but we don't use it for conferences yet. That's part of the problem. We've done a little bit of work. AACE, we did a conference earlier this year, an online conference on how to improve conferences. It's called Spaces of Interaction, and we had people like Timo Arena and individuals like that come in who really kind of push the envelope to present and talk about some of the ways that we should extend conferences. So I guess probably the best way to say what will conferences look like in the future, it'll be much more you and I creating them ourselves as participants rather than someone creating them for us and telling us what to do. I think we'll be the ones that'll create that for ourselves.